Thank you so much. Brilliant discussion there, team. Now, I think many of you may have noticed a crisper feeling to the air in the mornings and shortened days, despite all the craziness. Yes, the seasons still change. And as of Friday last week, we, I suppose, are officially in autumn now. So what does that mean for our plants, this changing season and the many other developments going on around us at the moment? What does this mean for the way that we're going to interact with our green life around us? Well, for you that are at home, it'll give you extra time, obviously, to care for your plants. And if you like, you can even order plants online. Now, here to share some sage advice is Plantify's head gardener and our good friend now, Andreas Keller. And thanks, dude. You brought the coolest, quirkiest, funky list of plants or array of greenery for us today. I absolutely love it. Maybe the first question to start with is change in season. Do plants start to behave differently in autumn? You know, trees obviously being the obvious one. They, you know, the leaves turn and fall off the trees. But how do plants in general behave in autumn? Is there a shift?
Oh, definitely. So a great kind of image or analogy might be that of a bear entering hibernation.
Okay.
It's kind of gorged itself in summer. It's preparing its hollow for its dormancy period. Plants are very much the same. So the active growing season's over and they are kind of settling in for a quieter period of time.
Bedding in, like all of us, for some inactive weeks at home. How then does our care of these plants need to evolve or adjust for autumn?
So autumn's a transition period. So generally the days get shorter and also the temperature drops. So that's something to be mindful of. But in general, there are kind of three things to adjust. The first is to cut back on fertilizing, because plants don't need as much fertilizer to kind of push out new growth. And if there's too much fertilizer around, it can actually damage the plant. It can burn the roots, it can do all sorts of weird things with the leaves, the foliage. So cut back on fertilizing.
When you say cut back, to what extent?
So, you know, this is a science, but a general rule is cut back to once a month.
Okay, cool, okay. Any other?
So cut back on watering. So generally light and water are kind of an equilibrium that you maintain, and as the light reduces, you could be overwatering. So cut back on the watering, because too much water can cause root rot and can damage the plant. So just cut back. But there might be, you know, the odd kind of wild card hot day still in autumn. So actually, like, actively check your plant.
Okay, and you can let it, you know, you can feed directly, intuitively off how much sunlight and how long that day is and how hot it is. Then, okay, let's just up the water intake.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Brilliant.
So water, and the other thing is light, of course. So the days are getting shorter, so you might want to just move your plant a little bit closer to the window, but just be mindful that the sun is reducing, like its apex isn't super high. It's actually a bit lower, so it might actually be shining a bit further into the room. So a plant that previously didn't have light might be getting light now. So instead of like just a one size fits all, just actually actively look what your plant needs.
Just be mindful of the shifting season. Okay, I love that. Just with regards to the overwatering in particular, because I think that's something that many of us are, because you want to just keep loving your plant and keep making sure that it's going healthy. And I know you've given us some great instruction when it comes to each plant. Is there a sign that you are watering? When do we know that root rot has kicked in, and can you come back from that?
You can. So the kind of, when it's a little bit too late is, generally speaking, when the plant has died, or I mean a green leaf, if it's turning yellow, generally speaking, that's overwatering. The easiest way is to actually just remove the pot and to see. So typically, you know, if you're kind of like checking the topsoil, it might be dry, but there might be a layer of wetness around the soil. So just put it away and pop it back in, and that's the easiest way to see.
I suppose no one is untouched by the coronavirus pandemic, especially when it comes to the online shopping space, something that you've created a wonderful little niche for yourselves. How would you suggest people go about shopping responsibly during these times?
So during, you know, social distancing and the imminent lockdown is kind of, you know, what we're looking at, and people have been looking at shopping online in order to still stay connected and get the goods that they need, including plants. So at Plantify, we've looked at the World Health Organization prevention measures, and also some from the Center for Disease Control, in order to kind of inform how we go about that. So internally, we really have upped our sanitation game. and other measures in order to be like super safe about it.
What's just, and I know we have gone through this before, but can you take us through the steps that we would follow with Plantify to buy a plant?
Yeah, so I mean, you can buy as normal online. We've, just as an aside, we've written a blog post, so viewers can kind of look up on how to safely order online.
Okay, fantastic.
But there's one aspect to be mindful of, so is the kind of surface lifetime of the virus on different materials, cardboard, plastic, etc. So there's some new sort of published research on that. So generally speaking, on cardboard, it's up to 24 hours.
Okay.
It's not the primary means of transmission, according to the research, but it's just something to be mindful of. So if somebody receives a parcel, of course, you kind of want to keep a distance from the courier, sign the kind of receipt with your own pen, place the parcel in a safe space, 24 hours, wash your hands, sanitize them, and then open the parcel after 24 hours.
After 24 hours, if possible, and that would be, I think, as it relates to all online shopping. Fantastic stuff. Can you name these plants quickly, just in case anyone has identified something that they love here?
Yeah. So, okay, so here we have Philodendron Neon. We've called it Neon. It's actually Hederaceum gold. That's the kind of cultivar. It's amazing. It just has this kind of lumo quality.
Yeah, it pops, hey?
It pops, and it just creates this gorgeous kind of trailing situation, or like vining.
Cool.
Over here we have Hoya carnosa tricolor. So this is a variegated leaf. Variegation means that it's got some. So that's an unvariegated leaf. That's green.
Sure, and then the
variegated
color shift, yeah.
Exactly. So it's got a color shift. It's got this beautiful red stem. And Hoyas, so they're called wax plants. They have the most incredible flowers.
Oh, wow.
They're incredibly popular because they have this kind of corona of, this kind of situation happening with a lot of detail and usually quite like beautiful scents.
And just very quickly, these names.
These names. Okay, so over here we have a lipstick vine, Aeschynanthus twister, another Hoya variety, and that is Philodendron goldii. That's the synonym. It's got a much more fancier name, which I'd encourage our...
Which we don't have the half an hour to do. Dude, thank you so much for bringing a beautiful array and for informing us. Please stay safe during these crazy times, as everyone has to, and we've got some great news for you guys at home. We are giving away a 500 Rand Plantify gift voucher, which will get you very far. If you want to win this great prize, go over to Expresso's Facebook page. Tell us which plants or pots you will order from plantify.co.za. We've given you some great ideas here, and we could be sending you that 500 Rand gift voucher. The terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com, and it's going to end today at midnight, that competition, so get on it.